Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. A bunch of new Yu-Gi-Oh cards getting announced. I'm really excited about the Libromancers, as we haven't really heard too much about them. These are all coming out in Dimension Force, so that's very, very soon. Looks like we got a new generic Synchro Dragon Mech card. We have new Pendulum Fusion Monster, but again, Dimension Force coming out very soon. TCG release date May 20th, 2022. But yeah, let's go and check out some of these newer cards. And these are all the world premiere cards, by the way, so let's go ahead and get started. So first off, Libromancer Fire is confirmed for Secret Rare. I guess this is actually a video on rarity too. So we actually already covered his effect, but basically he's a level 4 Cyber Effect monster, 18/18, and then his effect is pretty simple. You reveal a ritual monster in your hand, you special summon this card from your hand, and if it's special summon, you need to add a Libra monster from your deck to your hand except for itself. So basically the searcher of the deck. Like I said, we covered this card in the past, but that's like the one card that was also added in here. Anyways, the rest should be relatively new here. Next up, we got Colonel on C String. So it's a level 4 light warrior effect monster, 1400 attack, 1600 defense points, and it says when this card is normal summon, you could just special summon 2 level 4 or lower warrior monsters with different names from your hand in a defense position. So relatively good. I mean, you could actually use this in a lot of different decks. Just to even spam out, just getting another level 4 that happens to be like a light could be good if you want. You know, other cards for fodder for Vista Starfrost. That card is definitely going to be seeing some play, and this is just a nice little addition to, you know, sold decks, and it could probably be used in a lot of different things. But let me know what other things we'll have use for. All right, this card looks amazing as far as the artwork goes. At first, I thought of maybe some Sous Ship Synchro. That'd be cool, but Navy Dragon Mech Super Rare is a level 9 water machine synchro effect monster, 2700 attack, 1800 defense points, 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monsters. And it says if this card is special summoned, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of tuners in your graveyard. Negate their effects until the end of this turn. If this synchro summon card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I mean, if it negated their effects and then destroyed them too, and like couldn't respond to it, it'd be like a good generic boss monster. The problem is if your opponent has something that actually has a good effect, which is more than likely going to be like negate and destroy, they're just going to negate and destroy. Sure, you get an extra tuner and you can add it back to your hand. If it said like you get the tuner and you get additional normal summon, that's what the new Yu-Gi-Oh game needs, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's still like a decent effect. Being able to target like a Veiler, you know, that would be another like great target. Ogre, I believe, is a tuner as well. It's still a decent card, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, modern Yu-Gi-Oh needs these cards to be insanely powerful, and they're hyping this up because I'm guessing they're showing the cards that are supposed to be hyped up. A little lackluster, but artwork definitely gets a thumbs up for me. And also, if you're watching this video, don't forget to drop a like on it if you enjoyed the content. Anyways, next up, though, we have a new Fusion Pendulum effect monsters. So this is another super rare Pastelciel Couverture. I'm probably saying the name wrong. It's probably like a French pastry or something. Anyways, level 5 Dark Fairy Fusion Pendulum effect monster. Oh, dude, you know what? Is this Madolche support? Okay, so 1700 attacks, 700 defense points, pendulum effect. You have no card in your other pendulum zone. You can place one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck in your pendulum zone. You can only use this effect of Pastelciel once per turn, and its monster effect is 2 pendulum monsters. It says if this card is in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Oh. I was really like hoping for like actual like Madolche support, because that's what it kind of looks like in terms of artwork, right? Next up we have Omega Judgment. It says target one face-up monster in your spell and trap zone and 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy them. Okay, I guess Crystal Beast. I mean, you can kind of go plus with it, like throw it in the graveyard, but like you lose out on the value more than likely. But then I'm thinking about it. It has to be one face up. Oh, dang, you can't use it with the artifacts. That would have actually been pretty good. It was just one monster card in your spell and trap zone. But then your opponent would know exactly what you're doing with it. I don't know. I think it has some potential for cool plays. Let me know what other things. I think, what is it, like Toy Soldier, Silver Sentinel, but I think Silver Sentinel also has to be like set face down. Most of the cards that you'd want to like benefit off of this would go face down, but again, there could be some options. Or if you play remote duels, you set your Inferni in your back row. Big brain plays. Next up, though, we have the backup team. This is a normal trap card. It says draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Wow. Then place cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew. During the end phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use one backup team effect per turn, only once a turn. Oh, okay, they already kind of nerfed it. Okay, so it's obviously a pretty slow card because it's a trap card, so you have to set it, and then you have to wait during the end phase, and then you have to re-put it down. But that's actually pretty good, being able to draw cards up to the number. But then it does say then place. So there's actually some cheesy things to do with this card potentially. Was it there was some like weird combo that you can do with, I think it's like Disturbing Strategy. There might be some like weird way to like abuse this card. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys know what I'm talking about. It was like Disturbing Sanctuary, or Protector of the Sanctuary, Disturbing Strategy. There's a weird thing because it says comma then place, so you might be able to do some weird stuff with this card, like I said, to just basically not have the downside of it, like as I'm placing the cards back. But then again, like, I mean, just drawing, okay, it's equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. So, like, if you give your opponent, right, like, a bunch of different tokens, what is it, like Dustin, you give your opponent, like, 5 monsters instantly, there could be some ways to just cycle through your whole deck. Obviously, they make it so you can only use 1 effect per turn, so if you were able to use 3 of these, maybe there'd be some crazy FTK, like, potential with it. I don't know, this card has potential. I like these weird Yu-Gi-Oh cards for content. Next up, though, we have Libromancer Mystical. Finally, this is what I've been waiting for, because, like, what the heck are Libromancers, right? So we finally get the announcement of them. Libromancer Mystic Girl is a super rare. Wait, did it have the rarity of this card? Oh, this looks like a common. Okay. Anyways, level 4 Light Fairy Ritual Effect Monster, 1400 attack, 2100 defense points. And it says you can ritual summon this card with a Libromancer card. If this card was ritual summoned by using the effects of monsters on the field, your opponent cannot target ritual monsters you control with monster effects. If this card is special summoned, you get to target one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Changes its attack to 0, also negates effects. You can only use this effect of Libromancer Mystic Girl once per turn. Okay. I mean, this effect could maybe be used, but it's only specifically monster effects. Still relatively one of the better ones, but I don't know if people are going to be super excited about this card. All right, let's check out the rest of the stuff. Okay, so this is... Okay. This says ultra rare, but judging by the picture, I mean, I'm getting old maybe, but that looks like a regular rare to me. You guys comment below if I'm wrong. That looks like a rare card to me. Anyways, level 7 Fire Cyber's ritual effect monster called the Libromancer Fireburst. 2800 attack and 2800 defense. It says you can ritual summon this card with a Libromancer card. If this card was ritual summoned by using a monsters on the field, it can't be destroyed by battle. Also, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Okay, and this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish the Libromancer ritual monster from your graveyard and it gains 200 attack. Oh, okay, very interesting. 28 with like it doubles the damage. It can only, if it could just get 2 attacks, that'd be like obviously a little bit better. I think it's like mediocre still at the end of the day, so far at least. Let's check out the rest of the support though. Don't sign them out yet. Libromancer Realized is a super rare that's a continuous spell card that says you can reveal 1 Libromancer ritual monster from in your hand to source from 1 fire token. Cyber's fire, attack, and defense 0 with the same level as the revealed monster. While you control that token, you cannot spell some monsters except for Libromancer monsters. Also, you can only use this effect of Libromancer Realized once per turn. Okay, so interesting enough, it says while you control. So I guess since this is continuous, I'm wondering if you can do like a creature swap, give it to your opponent, and then they can only go for it. Since it says while you control that token. I don't know. Maybe that would be interesting if that's how it kind of works and you can like lock your opponent out, right? Next up, that we have the Libromancer Bonded, which is a super rare ritual spell card that says that this card can be used to ritual summon any Libromancer ritual monster. Also, you must tribute monsters from your hand or field whose levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If you ritual summon a Libromancer Fireburst with this effect using Libromancer Firestarter on the field, it can be destroyed or banished by card effects. Okay, so potentially you have the ability, I guess Fireburst is their boss monster. It's kind of weak, so it can't be destroyed and it cannot be banished, and on top of that you can't really target it if you happen to have the Mystic Girl, but obviously they're just going to get rid of Mystic Girl. Right? Interesting effect. It is like it is part of the ritual. I wish like if it couldn't be targeted to, then you'd be looking at kind of a boss monster. In the sense the stats can start increasing like by the 200. I guess that's their boss monster. It seems again kind of weak. Next up, though, we have an ultra rare called the Libromancer Displaced. So it's a normal track card. It says target Libromancer monster you control, and 1 monster opponent controls. Return your monster to your hand. If you do, take control of that opponent's monster. If your Libromancer monster you targeted was not the original monster, the monster you took control of returns to the hand during the end phase. You can only activate 1 Libromancer Displaced per turn. Okay. So it's basically like a snatch steal, but like you got to be bouncing back something that you actually want. I wish this card effect was like, you know, Libromancer monsters are immune for the next like 2 turns or something like that. That way, like bouncing this card would actually make sense because you want to keep this card on the field so your opponent can't you know, get rid of it. That would make the most sense for me. At least that's the way I see it. Next up, though, we have that was okay, yeah. Next up, we have the Libromancer Prevented. So, this is a continuous trap card that says if you control a Libromancer monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls this turn. That face-up monster cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, seize, or link summon. You can only use this effect of Libromancer Prevented once per turn. And then also once per turn during the end phase, if you control no Libromancer ritual monster, send this card to the graveyard. Okay. So you target one, they're kind of locked out of it. Obviously, there's so many more options nowadays in YuGiOh. Like, I remember when, like, no material came out, that card was like $100, but then, like, no one played it. So, I'm curious to know if you guys even think this is even that great. Because remember, it's a continuous trap, it's got to linger on there for the effect. And doesn't, like, say even if this card is destroyed until the end phase or something, they still can't use it. So, maybe they can get rid of it. I don't know. I think the Libromancer archetype, as of right now, for, like, their boss monster, it's very lackluster. In terms of, like, the good cards in here, I would say the most exciting card is really, like, the Colonel on C-String. But that's my thoughts. You guys can let me know yours down below on any of the cards we talked about. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more new YuGiOh cards when they get announced. Hopefully, they'll be better than these ones. But anyways, that's the world premiere cards. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.